Hello. Hi, you're early. Thank you for joining. Hello. This is the youth forum. So we're gonna get started at 3:30, okay? So you're just really early, okay? Okay. I'm just setting up over here. Can you hear me good?
Yes, now.
Okay, so good. So like I said, you're a little early, so that's great. We're gonna get started at 3:30, okay?
I'm calling you 3:30.
No, you can stay. I'm just saying people will start joining in.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we have people joining in. But you can hear me good? The background isn't too bad? Okay.
Why you find it that? Huh? Why?
Yes. We're just going to give it a few minutes for people to join. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
One time, so.
Hello. All right. So you all are early. So we're going to get started in a few minutes. Everyone just hang tight. Thank you all for being timely, though. Appreciate it.
I don't know if it's English class or what. Only I myself.
This is for COVID.
Huh? Yeah, she said the way people coming. I don't know if this can school me.
Let's see. They can hear you, I think.
Yes.
those of you that are just joining, thank you. Melanie, I'm gonna unmute you, Melanie, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's great to see everyone joining in, though. I'm really excited. And we're gonna get started. Thank you all for being on time. Great. So just for those of you that are coming in early, we're just going to have everyone muted just so that we don't hear too much background noise at the same time. So thank you all for being on time, and we'll get started in a few minutes. Melanie, are you able to admit participants?
Yes.
Okay.
Apparently.
Okay, good. So maybe while I'm talking, you can maybe help me admit not keeping my eye on it. I remember getting started shortly. Yeah, Melly, I'm gonna let you take over the participants and getting them, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Okay, great. I'm gonna set this screen. Okay, everyone. So thank you so much for joining. I want to be conscious of everyone's time, so I do want to get started on time. So welcome to the Fostering Youth Success Alliance COVID-19 Youth Forum. I just want to get started, introduce myself. My name is Jasmine Hooper. I am the director of FYSA. That's what we like to call our organization, which you can see on my t-shirt. And also co-hosting with me, we have.
Hi, my name is Melanie.
And Melanie is.
I have no idea how to use this. Okay. Hello, hi, my name is Darren. I'm confused.
We're just gonna ask everyone just to mute yourselves for this part. If you're not muted already, we're definitely gonna have a section. Well, basically, the whole time we're gonna ask you all to just speak and say what you have to say. But just for now, we do want to ask everyone to mute themselves. Okay. Melanie, are you able to admit folks?
Yes.
All right. Wonderful. All right. So if everyone can hear me okay, again, thank you all for joining. Those of you who are just coming in, my name is Jasmine Hooper. I'm the director of FYSA. And the purpose of this forum is really to give everyone a space to just express what's going on, any challenges that you've been facing surrounding COVID-19. There's so many updates. There's so much going on, and we're all impacted in so many different ways. So we just wanted to give everyone an opportunity to come together in one central place to just really share what's been going on and how we're impacted. So just a few ground rules. I kind of touched on some earlier, but again, we just want to make sure that we're muted when we're not talking, just so that there's no like competing noises and background noises. We also want to make sure that when we're talking about our agencies, just out of privacy, we just want to say my agency during this call. And then if there's anything, you know, that you kind of want to talk to us more in detail, we're happy to work with you and we're happy to hear about any challenges you may be facing at your agency. But we just want to ask that you send us an email. So this is our agenda. Also, for those of us that are staff and adults on the call, I hope you all can see on your screen a question and answer section. Melanie, you're shaking your head no?
No, I'm listening.
Oh, okay. So I hope you all can see that there is a question and answer section where there's a chat. Please feel free, staff or even youth on the call, if you don't want to maybe say your question, by unmuting yourself, you can put your question in the chat. And staff, those of us adults, we can answer. We can answer in that chat, or you can just, you know, raise your hand or let us know that you can unmute yourself and answer the question if you'd like. But we do want to make sure that we're keeping these focused, right? So let's move on. You all can see the agenda. First on the agenda, we do want to start with just updates that we've, Melanie, you got the participants coming in?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we do want to start with COVID-19 updates information that's been shared with us. So I think that the governor is speaking right now while we're having this forum, but as of an hour ago, New York has extended the order somewhere between April 15th and April 30th for social distancing as a result of the coronavirus. So that's going to affect non-essential businesses and gatherings, as you all, I'm sure, have heard either through the news or social media or with friends. Also, for those of you that may be in New York downstate in the city, if you're at the CUNYs, you may know that as of last week, the CUNY dorms were closed, with the exception of one dorm in Queens, which has been left open for those of us who have exhausted all of our options and don't really have any place to go. So if you're on this call and you think you actually qualify for that, or you know you're kind of struggling finding some housing, just again, feel free to reach out to us and let us know. Also, upstate, SUNY dorms have remained open as far as we've been told. While they're open, there are just some limitations on common areas like the kitchen, maybe the student lounge in the dorm. So, excuse me, that can be a little challenging, but that's just an update that we've heard. And we know that there's been some job loss as a result of the coronavirus, of course. And we do know that during times of crises that unfortunately jobs that were once held for youth sometimes get replaced by older or adult workers. So we don't have any data on the, we don't have any official data yet on youth unemployment rates, but we know that that's something that a lot of us are experiencing during this time, whether you're young or older. So those are our updates. And next we're gonna have Melanie, who's, for those of you who are just joining, Melanie is the co-host. She's the co-facilitator, and she's also a FYSA youth advocate. So, Melanie, if you wouldn't mind just sharing with the folks that are joining a little bit about yourself and your background.
Sure. So hi, everybody. Thank you guys for joining the call. I'm excited that we're all here to have this conversation. So like Jasmine mentioned, I am a FYSA advocate, and I have been for the last almost 3 years now. I've been in foster care for over 10 years. I've currently aged out and went to independent living. I'm currently a college student at Hunter College. And I guess we just wanted to take this webinar to discuss some of the things that are coming up for us with COVID-19 going on right now and all of these unexpected changes. So one of the things that we do know, we know a couple of things, and these are things that we've gathered from staff members that have worked with some of you on this call, as well as other foster youth. So currently we know that many of you are experiencing either job loss or have a pile of unpaid debts due to losing your job in this unexpected time. Like Jasmine mentioned, we know that the CUNY dorms have closed as of last week, so many of you may or may not be experiencing feelings of displacement or struggling with trying to figure out where to go if you were residing on campus. We know that many of you right now may be experiencing a shortage of groceries or a lack of food because you are either suffering financially with your job loss or you just don't have enough to sustain yourselves at the moment. We know that many of you guys are experiencing either feelings of depression or isolation or anxiety. And I guess I'll touch more on that in a minute. And we know that many of your schools or classes have switched to distance or online learning. And with that, there is an increase for people that need laptops, people that are struggling to get Wi-Fi or access to any of the tools that they may or may not need. So we wanted to take this forum, I guess, just to open the floor to everybody here, just to discuss what you guys are all individually going through and if there's anything else that could be added to this list of things that we're experiencing. And I guess I'll start with myself. So just based off of the things I just went over, there's a couple of things that I personally have experienced at this time. So right now, my income is unstable because of this. A lot of people that do currently still have their jobs are working from home, but even with that, there comes a whole bunch of fluctuations financially. And because of that, I've also experienced my own personal shortage of groceries and having to constantly go to the supermarket and re-up. But there are a lot of people that can't get to the markets right now or don't have enough money or their agencies are not covering it. And if you still are in a foster home, then there are some parents that aren't giving, and there's a whole bunch of drama around allowances and things of that nature. I guess the last thing for me that I would touch upon that I personally have a lot of experience with is the lack of mental health resources. So for me, mental health is huge. Full disclosure, I've been diagnosed with over 2 diagnoses. So for me, maintaining my mental health and therapy is super, super important. However, at this time, as many of you know, we can't congregate in any agency or any group setting with over a certain amount of people, which means for me, I lose a lot of therapy. And that tends to be an issue considering that right now all of our feelings of depression or isolation or anxiety may be increased at the moment. So with that, you know a little bit about me, you know a little bit about what I'm experiencing currently with COVID-19 going on. And I just want to open the floor to anybody here that may want to chime in and say whether or not you relate to something that I've said, or if you've been experiencing something differently that you may want everybody here to know about. So whoever wants to speak, you can just unmute yourself and say your name and jump into it.
Hi everyone, my name is Kyra. I'm sorry you can't see me. There's some issue with my video. So I have been experiencing a lot over the past couple of weeks. Last Tuesday, I was informed that, of course, CUNY was gonna evacuate dorms, and then thankfully I was able to get most of my stuff in storage, get things out. But a lot of foster youth are currently have nowhere to go. The only youth that are able to stay at the dorms is 21 and over. And so the way this was handled was very unprofessional. I feel like the dorm project didn't take enough initiative. Instead, a lot of the youth took the initiative and try to make sure that they stayed with they were able to stay and dorm. So last week was very alarming for a lot of us, and I do want to state that within the process of dorming out, I was given, I was forced to, at first I was forced to stay in someone else's home, because my aunt was my foster parent, and is now currently my foster parent. But during the process of dorming out, I was told that she couldn't be my foster parent because my cousin has a felony charge. And so, and he's no harm to me. He's family. But they were giving me a foster parent. And I went along with it, and I wasn't able to stay in that. I wasn't able to even go into that foster parent's home because her son was afraid that I had COVID-19. And so a lot of foster youth that have to leave, it's concerning that within the situation, they can't just go into someone's home, because a lot of people don't want, aren't welcoming people into their home, which is really, it's understanding that people don't want foster youth into their home. So it's like, I feel like ACS isn't doing enough when it comes to the population of the foster youth that have nowhere to go because of the evacuation that happened in the dorms.
Thank you for sharing, Kyra. Your feelings are super valid. Is there anybody else that agrees with Kyra that's in the CUNY Dorm Project, or may have something else they may want to add to that?
I'm just want to draw some attention to the chat. If everyone does see the Zoom group chat function on the screen, some folks have on the call have posted some information. So Crystal Charles, thank you, Crystal, has mentioned that there is a mental health hotline on the governor's COVID-19 website. Actually, we have the number here posted in the chat. So it's free, and anyone can call to schedule a free appointment. Also, just really briefly, so Fostering Youth Success Alliance, FYSA, we are a statewide alliance that works with child welfare agencies across the entire city and state of New York, and we offer assistance with tuition supports for those of you that are in college. So we have so many things that we like to offer you all. If you're not accessing the funding and you do qualify, just please reach out to us. You qualify by being currently enrolled in college and a youth with a foster care background, which I presume most, if not all of you are on this call. But also, just to follow up, we will be sending out a resource list after this in the coming days. So I know you all will have a lot of questions and presenting a lot of concerns, but we don't want to leave you all with nothing. So we do want to share some resources with you. And Shirley DePena, if you all see in the chat, she listed her email address. She said that any CUNY student that is experiencing difficulty because of COVID-19 at the residence halls, please reach out to her. And Shirley DePena is at CUNY. So I just wanted to just stop and bring some attention to the chat. And Melanie, I'm sorry, you can take it away. Thank you.
No, absolutely. This is all great information. I actually have friends of mine in the dorms who have contacted Shirley in the past, so definitely take Shirley up on her offer and write down her email.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. My name is Dimitri Mack. I don't have my camera on right now, but I've been working with my academic advisor. Her name is Gisette, and I go to school out of state. And we've been reaching out to my school to try to figure out a day that I can come and pick up my things. But I'm just really worried about, like, with the COVID-19, how is the agency going to be able to, like, help me go out to, because I go to school in Washington, D.C., and I don't know how I'm going to be able to go out there and try to get my stuff, because my foster parent, I don't think she's not going to be able to take me, because I also have my little brother here, and it cannot, I don't want him to, well, we don't want him to go outside and get exposed and potentially get exposed. So it's just like a lot of like questions surrounding that, and I still haven't got, and my stuff and my like campus shut down for the rest of the semester.
Right, I'm gonna answer Demetria. I'm Dr. Brenda Triplett, the Educational Director at Demetria's agency, Children's Aid. Demetria, we will definitely continue to work with you. As you know, you had a vacation right during the time when most folks were evacuating, but we don't want you to worry about anything. Don't worry, we'll get your things, and that's something that we'll definitely work with you on after the call.
Thank you. Oh, I have just one more like thing to mention. How like I know that some people like through some people's school, like through the agency, they got like tutoring services. So how are those tutoring services going to be done, being that we're not able to do like face-to-face anymore?
So with the agencies that we use, we had to make sure that we wanted to make sure that they were using reliable platforms in which to deliver the tutoring services. There is one service that we're using where all of the tutors, they're using something called Microsoft Team. And so if that is the platform that they're using, we need to make sure that the homes are equipped with the app, whatever it takes. So right now, this week, we're working with the tutoring companies that provide services to our students to make sure that what the manner by which they intend to provide services are indeed acceptable and quality, and not and that the amount of time that will be spent efficiently, and just making sure that the students are able to receive the type of tutoring that they're able to offer, that they have the software, the hardware in place, so that they can take advantage of the tutoring services. So that's something, Demetria, you can certainly work with Gisette on, and we can certainly make sure the tutoring is in place for you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you both. So just really quickly, I think I'm gonna just be popping in a little bit with stuff from the chat. But so Tony Turner, thank you so much. Tony Turner is a mental health counselor working with Vibrant Emotional Health, and they have a hotline as well. The phone number, I know some of you all are calling in, so I just want to be cognizant of that, so I'm going to read the number out loud. Again, it's Vibrant Emotional Health, and they have a hotline that is 1-888 NYC Well. So that number is 1-888-692-9355. And Tony just encourages us all to not hesitate. If you're under any emotional distress, this is a very difficult time, very trying for all of us, and especially those of us who, you know, are just dealing with a lot, and this is impacting us with some of our basic needs. Also, Georgia Booth put in the chat that Children's Aid mental health clinics are offering telemental health supports. So if you maybe are someone who was receiving therapy before and you're a little, concerned that how will you still get therapy supports now that everything is, through video chat, Children's Aid clinics have a service. You can contact or send an email to A Newman, so that's ANEWMAN at children'saidnyc.org. Also, last message, for those of you that are at CUNY, you can reach out to this email address if you have any further concerns, more detail, aabha.adhiya@cuny.edu. So I'm gonna let you guys get back to talking, but I'm just gonna pop in every now and then with some stuff in the chat. Thank you, Melanie.
Absolutely. So make sure you guys write that stuff down. Is there anybody else that wants to share maybe a concern that they have with the coronavirus or how they've been impacted since COVID has come out?
Hello. I'm Tiny as Strong. I'm from MCC. I didn't know that CUNY was closed, the college. I feel really bad for them. I just it's been a lot hard for me to be isolated from a lot of people, but I'm getting through it. I have been keeping in contact with my social worker and make sure that everything's set and stuff like that. Um, so yeah.
That's great. Like I mentioned, the mental health and the isolation for me has been really, really difficult. And it can be really difficult to navigate that when you don't have services. So I'm happy to hear that you're still in contact with your social worker. And if you need any additional mental support, then you could see some of the things in the group chat that Jasmine just mentioned, some phone numbers and emails that you could reach out to if you need additional support with that.
And also, Tanya, thank you for sharing that with us. This is a time that can be difficult for those of us that struggle with isolation, especially those of us with a foster care background, like myself, like Melanie. But in our resource list that we will send out to you all, I hope to not only include mental health supports and housing supports and financial supports, but also just things to keep us busy and active, or just keep our minds not bogged down by everything, with just some maybe like distance yoga. I know I'm seeing like a lot of like fitness classes for free that are available if you have the space, or just like mindfulness meditations, things like that. So I hope to share those resources with you all in addition to the those direct mental health supports that are mentioned in the chat. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Rama and I'm in SUNY. My heart like goes out to everyone because I know this is like a very testing time. But I think the only like problem, well, my main issue is like the technology aspect because my laptop doesn't really work. Like it just shuts off and like the screen flickers. And now that everything is done through like via the internet via my laptop, it's become like a bit difficult, like trying to stay on top of things with a laptop that basically doesn't work. And yeah, pretty much that's where I'm at, and it's testing me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Rama. So New Yorkers for Children actually has a emergency, like a COVID-19 emergency fund, both for youth that are currently in care and those who have aged out. So whether you're aged out or currently in care, if you're someone who needs a new laptop, or you need a new mouse, or just even if it's the most basic, a new charger, you need support paying your like Wi-Fi bill, your internet bill, New Yorkers for Children does have an emergency fund. Also, Ram, I didn't catch whether you were at CUNY or SUNY or what school you were at, but CUNY does, in the chat, we see that CUNY does have laptop resources. So if you can go in the chat, Rama, there are some emails listed and you can contact those names above if you need a loaner laptop. If you're Rama, were you at CUNY? I'm sorry. I just wanted to double check.
Sorry, I'm in SUNY.
You're in SUNY. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for clarifying. So yeah, we're going to send out that resource list, but I would definitely apply to New Yorkers for Children's Emergency Resource Fund, because they're supporting youth who are going through the same thing. Also in the chat, just want to bring up Candy from SUNY mentioned that SUNY system has purchased a whole bunch of laptops for students who need. So even better, Rama, and those of you who are at SUNY and you need a laptop or those type of technological supports, email Candy for more information. Candy's email is candi.griffin. So that's, Griffin is GRIFFIN Jenkins. JENKINS at SUNY.edu. So if you all can just check out the chat for that email. I know I butchered it, but yes. Ayana Chung also mentioned that one simple wish is also providing laptops. Thank you, Ayana. That's really helpful. We're going to try to add that to our list. Yeah, and we have that link for the emergency funds in the chat. So just going to let you all get back to talking.
And before I open it back up, I realized that Sarah Childs also wrote in the chat a question, and I think, Georgia, if you have the answer, you can chime in or write it in the chat. And she wants to know if the Children's Aid telemental health is available for all youth, even if they're not in care of Children's Aid. I'm not sure, Jasmine, if you know the answer to that, but if not, Georgia, if you could be so kind. I don't know if she's here. Before the end of this call, we'll get the answer for you.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll follow up with that. Thank you, Sarah.
So what about others? How are others feeling with COVID-19? What's going on with your placements, apartments, food, mental health, all of this great stuff?
So Georgia, I'm sorry, I just want to interject. Georgia said that the telemental health supports are available to all youth. So even those who aren't Children's Aid youth, no matter your agency, you can access those services, actually. And the information is just a little further in the chat, and Georgia Booth posted that.
Awesome.
So I think Melanie was, I was sorry to interrupt you, Melanie.
You're
I think
fine.
asking if anyone else had anything they wanted to share in terms of your experiences.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, my name is Tony. I'm a mental health counselor at Vibrant Emotional Health. I also have a podcast talking about my experiences in the foster care system. One of the things that as someone who constantly talks to people regarding some of their mental health challenges, 90% of my calls at my job have mostly been about the current pandemic and how to manage stress, how to reduce anxiety. And I know for me, it's been a lot to take in, being that I have to be the rock for everyone and kind of hold that space for people. And it's kind of made my anxiety skyrocket. So I've been actually having a lot of issues in terms of being able to keep, I don't know, I just been having difficulties kind of managing my own stress and kind of reevaluating my mental health. So I had to take a few days off and really reflect on how I want to be able to help people while still keeping my own mental health at a reasonable level. I think some things that I've been doing to kind of help with that is I created a schedule for myself, or an agenda of sorts, where I kind of go over I have daily time where I do blogging, where I record or edit podcast episodes, where I'm engaging with a lot of my friends and family, and just reaching out to any loved ones. And it's just more than anything, I feel like it's given me a structure. It's given me a sort of thing to kind of fall back on when I need that accountability in my life. And it's definitely given me some sort of direction in my day-to-day. So I certainly sympathize as someone who's currently in New York City. And as soon as I saw everything that was going on in the dorm projects, I've had a lot of students hit me up, and they've been feeling anxious. They've been feeling a lot of times that ACS just doesn't care. I'll be blunt with you. A lot of people, particularly the students, they feel like, how could this happen, right? We have very little resources as it is. I'm a firm believer that the single most important thing that every former and current foster youth needs is a healthy support system. And if you don't have that, it's very difficult to thrive. It's very difficult to manage those emotions. So that's really what I wanted to get out of this. And just like anyone else, I've been struggling with adjusting to this pandemic that we're having.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Tony. I know this is such a challenging time for all of us, but that's why we wanted to bring everyone together here, just so that we can pool all the resources that we have. Thank you so much for sharing your resource in the group chat. And this is just an opportunity, I'm sorry, for us to just share what we're experiencing, what's affecting us the most, what our needs are. That way, someone can come in here and say, I need a laptop. And then, we're able to say, this is where you can find it. So thank you so much, Tony. Melanie, did you want to, or take it away, Melanie?
No, I'm just opening the floor. Thank you, Tony, for sharing that with us. And I think it's important, and I'm glad that FYSA has cultivated this space for us to share, because oftentimes we don't have a space to go to talk about what we're actually feeling as it pertains to this. So if anybody else wants to chime in and just say their experience at all, please, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Catherine, and I'm actually in a private college, but I'm calling because right now my college is doing online classes. I'm currently staying with my aunt. And I have a laptop and all that, but I use my hotspot because I don't have internet. So, and my hotspot's running out, and it's like really hard for me to do classes without internet because basically everything's online now. So I don't I lost my job, so I don't have a job currently. So I can't pay for like both internet and phone and hotspot and all that.
Right.
So one thing, I guess I could type this in the chat, that I know that I've actually taken advantage of. So Spectrum is giving out free Wi-Fi to students for 2 months, as long as you have a .edu email. So if you already have Spectrum internet, then they don't charge any late fees or cancellation fees for the next 2 months. But if you don't have Spectrum and you're in an area that accesses Spectrum, then you'll be able to get free internet service currently while the coronavirus is going on, at least for the next 60 days. So maybe that's something you can look into. I'm not sure where you're located, but that could be an option for you.
Thank you.
You go like on the website?
So on the group, if you're on that group chat function, we just posted the links to the Spectrum service for students, as well as another, like a Google Doc that has other providers that are offering free internet. But I know some of you may not be in those. Sometimes the providers don't cover all
those areas.
Or all areas. So if you're someone who you don't qualify for any of those providers, still reach out to us. Or like I said, I would utilize those emergency funds at New Yorkers for Children, because they are also supporting those who don't qualify for those free internet services. They're helping pay those bills. So thank you, Catherine, for sharing that.
I was also just going to chime in that in addition to Spectrum, Verizon and AT&T are offering free services as well to families in need. I think it's 2 months free. There is a caveat. We've had a couple of instances where if a family has an outstanding bill, that bill has to be paid first before they'll extend the months free. But AT&T and Verizon are also offering similar benefits to families.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brenda. And I think that would be listed in our Google link that's in the Zoom group chat with the other internet providers that will be offering that.
So thank you, Dr. Triplett. So in the chat, someone asked, what programs do we have for youth who are aging out of foster care in Long Island? So it seems like most of the resources that we listed are going to be offered via the computer, like those mental health services, all those applications to apply for emergency funds and the internet, all that stuff can be done over the computer. So whether you're in Long Island, whether you're in upstate, whether you're in downstate in the city, I think pretty much everyone qualifies for the services that we've mentioned. But does anyone on the line, and you can answer it in the group chat actually, if anyone knows of any services specifically for or targeting youth in Long Island, feel free to go ahead and put that in the chat. So thank you, Monique, for mentioning that.
Hi, everyone. Is this a good time to chime in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Hi, my name is Dareth Ogle. I'm a former, I guess, foster youth. I'm now 23 years old. I've been in care from the age of 2, and it's been a long road, but I'm holding up really fine. We do have one sick person in the house. We're not sure if he's COVID positive, but we're taking necessary precautions. As you can see, I'm spraying everything down with alcohol, bleach, and all that thing. So please take precaution because this is real. I have been displaced mildly. I'm a part of a supportive housing program with, is it okay to say the agency?
Sure.
Okay. But it's not to shine bad light on them. It's not something that has to do directly with them. With, oh Lord, now I can't call their name. New York Foundling, that's them. And unfortunately, my roommate and I, we do not have any internet. I do have to work from home. So I've been blessed to have a foster mom who invited me back to her house free of charge, you know, because she will not be able to be compensated as I'm not in foster care anymore. And she's been kind enough to open her doors to me. So I am safe at this time, and I thank God for that. I just wanted to say there are some resources from the New York City Community Trust or New York Community Trust. They do have emergency funds, as they normally do for students who had who's been displaced during this time and previously. I believe the funds is up to $500. I'm not sure, but you can go to their website and sign up. Also, Scholly, that's SCHOLLY. They also do have an emergency scholarship fund that's up to $200 to help you with, you know, materials, food, you know, those type of things. And also, if anybody has any credit cards, you can call up your credit card company and they will defer interest up to 3 months, I believe. They will not charge you 3 months interest due to this COVID-19. And also, like to piggyback off of the Verizon and AT&T, I believe Sprint also has a program that is addressing something similar to what AT&T and Verizon are doing. And I just wanted to tell everyone to please keep your head up at this time. I know it is hard because this is a constant reminder that people do have to put their own families first and then we come. But understand there are people out there who are putting us first as well. If you have any resources, please use them. Please use them. They don't have to be blood related. They don't have, in my case, they don't have to be an old foster mother, but if you have a friend of a friend or a family member, please, and they're willing to open up their doors for you. I know it's hard to go backwards sometimes, but use every person support system that you have at this time. We do not want anybody falling to the wayside or feeling like they have no one. And I just wanted to send some love and prayers. And I will put my email in the chat if anyone wants to reach out to talk about anything. It doesn't have to just be about COVID-19. I'm also the vice president for the Youth Advisory Board with New Yorkers for Children. I'm sitting here for our president and our secretary. So please reach out, feel free. You can talk about anything. It's 100% confidential. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. That was so amazing. And this is what we hope to get out of this. So thank you so much for sharing. Okay, just moving forward, I was advised that we we should move forward to not say our agency's name, just for privacy, but thank you so much. So there was a question posted in the group chat. Question to all students: if we are able to offer gift cards, which kind of gift cards would be most helpful? So if you all, those of you who have the chat function, if you all can respond in the chat by sharing what type. Someone said Amazon, Walmart. You might say like a food, you know, delivery service. So go ahead and in the chat you can put which gift cards would be most helpful for you during this time. So, Melanie, did you want to move forward and maybe ask some of the more like pointed questions that we had?
Sure. I don't have them pulled up, but I can't find them for some reason. But off the top of my head, one of the questions that we had was if you could speak to your local legislator, mayor, governor, whomever, what would you want to say to them in terms of something that you would need or resources that you would need? What would you want to say to them at this time? And anybody can jump in.
Yeah, so what recommendations would you make?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that question again? I'm sorry.
Sure. So if you all can hear me, the question was, if you had the opportunity to talk to your local mayor about what you've been experiencing, what would you tell them, or what recommendations would you make to them regarding what the needs are of foster youth or youth with a foster care background during this time?
This is Kyra. I think if there's a way for foster youth who currently have nowhere to go, if there's a way for there to be like some kind of facilities or like some kind of building specifically for those who have nowhere to go. If there can be, if there's a space that can be created for that, that would be amazing.
Thank you, Kyra. So some type of like emergency housing shelter kind of situation, I assume.
Right. Because for the dorms, for the dorms, it's really 21 and over, and they're making some they're allowing others who are under that age to stay, but I think that there needs to be a building, some type of building available for these foster youth who have nowhere to go, because a lot of these foster parents are not going to be open to welcoming other people into their homes during this time, and that needs to be a priority.
Thank you. And I guess in addition to that, we have two people in the chat that said something kind of similar. So Jessica in the chat said that they should provide more housing for foster care youth that are out of care. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think that means if you've been aged out or if you've been discharged. And Ayana had said, to piggyback off of you, Kyra, that she envisioned supportive housing being open and allowed for displaced youth, regardless if they have previously applied. M in the chat also said food care packages. So.
Okay. For those of you that on this call do need support with food and groceries, I hope to include those type of resources on the resource list that we send out, but please reach out to FYSA or your agency, but please feel free to reach out to FYSA and let us know if you do need support with food and those type of emergency resources. Let us know.
Awesome. Another question that we had was, if you had any one thing right now, whether that be a resource or something tangible, what would you say that you need the most at this time, or what would be the most helpful to you?
Hey, man, I can speak on that?
Yeah, go on.
All right, guys. For those who don't know, my name is Nicholas Vasquez, last name. I'm also a FYSA advocate along with Melanie. This is my first year, though. I attend university at Albany, SUNY, so I'm going to SUNY. I think, like, for me, similar to what everybody else is saying, I think like money, housing, food, like that's all huge, and I think like thanks for also, but I think like for me, I'm really struggling between like mental health and like at my academics. Like it's really hard. Like for me, it's really hard to focus on getting my work done. Knowing all this is going like, and I feel like that's my biggest thing. I don't know what I need. Maybe like a life coach or something. But it's like it's hard to like sit down and commit myself, because then I start getting in my head. I start thinking about what's going on today. I start thinking about what happened yesterday, or or of a past, and it's just like I get so overwhelmed, and like I feel like I was feeling like this prior to this coronavirus, but now like I feel like it's hitting me in a different way because now I'm so isolated and I can't go home, I can't see my family and everything like that. Like I'm stuck out here in Albany. I'm just lucky enough to like have a job still. You know, that's one thing I'm grateful for. And yeah, and my money is like, I had money saved up to buy a new house, and now it's like going towards food and everything. So that's kind of a setback. But you know, I know I could be in a worse situation, so I'm grateful for that. But I think if I needed one major source, I need something like an academic life coach, or somebody who could just sit down with me or be on Zoom with me, I guess, and just real life just go through my work with me because I really struggle with all that.
Thank you, Nick.
Hey, Tony. So I'm an alumni of University of Albany. So hit my email up, and I can sit down with you any time of the day you want. Depending on your major, I was a sociology major and economics minor. So if any of that is up your alley, I'll be happy to help you. Even if it's not, I do have some people that I know who are still there and will be able to help you. So just write my email. I'm cleaning up, that's why I'm out of breath. But yeah, so I don't know if you have my number, but you can, if you personally message me through this chat, I'll give it to you, okay?
Can I, you talking to Tony or me, just real quick?
Oh, I'm so
Nick.
sorry. What is your name, darling? I'm sorry.
My name is Nick, man. My name's Nick.
I'm sorry. It looks like Tony's face.
Nah, yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So yes,
I wasn't sure, but you said Albany. All right, I'll reach out to you right now. I'll get on that for sure.
Cool. All right, and I'll send you my number. Sorry about that.
What was your name again, Miss? I'm so sorry, I didn't catch it.
Dareth. It's Dareth. You can just call me D if that's easier for you.
I got you. Thank you.
All right.
Also, in the chat, we mentioned that if anyone needs a coach like Nick to support with maybe life coaching or academic coaching, Children's Aid also offers a coaching program that is assisting youth up to age 25. So you can email dartwell@children'saidnyc.org. Again, dartwell, DARTWELL @children'said.org. Also, Ayana Chung is a peer mentor and trained in mental health first aid. So if anyone would like to connect with Ayana, she's also a foster youth advocate. Thank you, Ayana. And willing to connect with anyone who needs any study support. So, or to vent. So if you want to reach out to Ayana Chung, her email and information is in the chat. But for those of you that are calling in, Ayana Chung's email is agcgwen@gmail.com. Thank you, Ayana.
Trinae also just mentioned in the chat, that ETV also has mentors and coaches. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, are familiar with the educational training voucher program. If not, then that's another resource that we could add to the list, and then we could look up their mentors and coaches as well. Thank you, Trinae. Does anybody else want to chime in on what would be the most helpful for them at this time?
Hello, this is Tiny and Strong again from MCC.
Hi.
Unfortunately, I don't have like iPhone, so I can't text or anything. I have an Android, so I know this is a lot. Do you guys mind if you guys send like the resources and stuff that you've been talking about in the chat to me?
Yes, we will follow up with the resource list. Will include all of these things that everyone is mentioning on the chat. So thank you for mentioning that. I know some of you all are accessing this forum via just picking up the phone and calling. We appreciate you doing that, and we will be sending out all these resources. But I just wanted to be sure to try to read some of them off for you all as they come.
Okay.
Yeah. And Ayana Chung has a foster youth support blog where she will share resources as well. And in terms of mental health services, Grand Wyndham has coaches. JCCA also has coaches for age 14 to 21. And I think those were the agencies that mentioned also. So Children's Aid, JCCA, Grand Wyndham are agencies that offer coaching services.
And I want to be mindful of the time. So I want to take this opportunity to just open the floor one last time. Does anybody have any questions or concerns or want to share briefly how they've been impacted by COVID-19?
I don't know. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah. Hi.
Hey, Mel. Long time no see.
How are you?
I'm doing well. So the dorm project last week almost kicked 117 students out of the dorms in Queens College, John Jay, and CUNY. You know, I was able to try to, you know, save whatever students I could for the last week. My thing is that, you know, we also need to speak out on students that are being thrown out and having nowhere to go, and being also sent into foster parents or group homes or lockdown facilities, you know, and that also may have COVID-19, you know. Like, I want this to be known so others can understand, like, yes, it's true that ACS might have found us a place to go, but are they putting us more in harm, more in danger? You know, like, a lot of kids, there 117 kids out of all the college dorm projects in New York City, and you know, they sent most of them home, but some of them came back during this time. You know, throwing kids into random foster homes saying that they're okay, that's not right. You know, and that's a little difficult because it's like, you know, I was trying to advocate, I was trying to make sure that some students I try my best to fight for some students. You know, I don't know if you guys read articles about what's been going on in the past week, you know, and it's been a lot, you know, so.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but would you mind just sharing with us your background, just so we know?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't, not to say I don't feel like I'm nothing special, but I've been an advocate since last year. You know, I've been advocating with future.
You're breaking in and out.
I advocated for them for this one that got them the $10 million. Oh, can you hear me? Hold on.
Yes, we can hear you. So, Marcus, are you a current student or a foster? You know, you have a foster care background as well. Just out of curiosity.
Yes, I am. I've been in foster care for 21 years, so you can only imagine.
Are you in school now?
Yes, I am. I actually am in Queens College. You know, talking.
Okay, and were you a part of the dorm project? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, I've been in the dorm project for the last 3 years. Mel could tell you. I've been with them for a very long time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for that. We definitely did touch upon the CUNY closure, the CUNY dorm closure, and are hoping that the resource guide that we're going to be sending you after this call could at least help with some of the resources that you may need to support you during the COVID-19. So, Jasmine.
So also something that was mentioned in the chat, Ayana Chung also has a Facebook page where foster youth support group, and then there are resources being shared there as well. I'll share that page, and I don't want to butcher the first name, but the last name, Dole, said to everyone in the chat that they just wanted to reiterate that if you may be eligible, oh, thank you. If you're eligible for the Foster Youth College Success Initiative, please reach out to Shirley DePena. So that's ACS Foster, not to be confused with our effort. All right, so I really do wish we had more time. For those of you
to say something.
Yes, yes.
I just wanted to just let you know, it's the Foster Youth College Success Initiative at CUNY and SUNY and the privates are for youth that are in care, formerly in care, and orphans as well. So it's not just for youth that are in care.
Thank you, Shirley. Thank you.
Sure. And we have resources for youth that are no longer in care specifically, because we know that that's to Jessica's point, that's a population that could also use support.
Yeah. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, my camera's not on. Yeah, I'm Ayana Chung. Yeah, basically, I think that right now the transition into remote learning is kind of overwhelming, and the isolation aspect. So, but I am grateful for the support community coming together to provide the resources, no matter how small. So I'm grateful for this opportunity to come out of isolation and connect, and show that foster youth do have activists and advocates. So yeah, I've been an advocate now for like the past maybe 3 or 4 years, and I had started my business in order to aid foster youth with their transition into adulthood, because I noticed that there was a lack in relaying the information regarding resources. So I basically used my lived experiences to and show them that, you know, success is attainable, and also share resources. So recently I created a foster youth support group underneath the Facebook page, where we allow it's a private group, so it's not like out open to the public, but it's basically for, you know, to vent, to share your story, or to also network and share resources. Because I think, like, to piggyback off what everyone else was saying, it's important to have a network right now.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ayana, and I really appreciate your efforts. You've done so much so far, and it's so exciting to hear that you have an entire Facebook group called Jumpstart Your Future Today. So, again, all of you are doing such great things. If you do have any of your own organizations or supports or resources that you have, feel free to put them in the chat, and we will add them to our resource list and disseminate them to all the participants. So I do want to be conscientious of time. We are going to wrap up. I can give like one more minute. If anyone else has any other feedback, any other questions or concerns, or anything that you feel like to share, now's the time, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up.
Jasmine, I just wanted to add, just anybody who, as far as the laptop.
Can you introduce yourself? Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Osei. I work with SUNY System Administration. I'm a campus liaison for the Office of Opportunities, the Colleges of Technology, and then I also, work with the Foster Youth College Success Initiative for the SUNY students. So Shirley and I are colleagues, and we just, going back and forth. This is more than just a position for us. This is our way of life. So I just wanted to go back to, as far as the laptops and the technical capability, that capabilities that are missing. If there are any issues with that, and you're at a SUNY, please, reach out to me. I'll leave my information in the chat. And if you had, like Shirley was saying, she works with the CUNY students. If you had any issues or concerns you wanted to talk about the Foster Youth Initiative, about needs or anything on the back end that you can see, please feel free to reach out. And, this is a wonderful platform. I'm going to step to the side. It's a wonderful platform, and I'm hoping that through this season, everybody would be able to connect with everything that they need at this point in time. Any way that I can avail myself, I'm definitely here.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you so much.
Can I just add real quickly? So we are at CUNY, we're hosting weekly check-ins for our youth. So emails are going to go out. We want to just kind of, a lot of what's happened here. We had our orientation last week for students in the Foster Youth College Success Initiative. And so we did it online, and a lot of what happened here today was happening then, with people really sharing resources and supporting each other. And it did come up that doing that on a weekly basis, maybe twice weekly, would actually be helpful to students to allow them to continue to connect. So emails will be going out, because we're going to do another one later this week. And anyone who's in the FYCSI program at CUNY, please, you should get an email, you should join and talk to us. And if you haven't received anything from me, you think you should be a part of it, please feel free to reach out to me.
Yes, thank you. And I made a mistake earlier. Shirley does work with FYSA. I don't know where I got ACS from. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. There's a lot of programs at CUNY. I know it can get confusing, but we support all our youth. Honestly, even if you don't fall under my umbrella, we can connect you to the other programs at CUNY if you fall under their umbrella. At the end of the day, we're here to support everyone. So no worries.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shirley. So are there any youth that want to say anything or ask any questions that you didn't get the opportunity to ask? This is the opportunity now if you do.
I can speak real quick, Jasmine.
Sure.
Yeah, all right. No, I really just wanted to say thank you to everybody. It really meant a lot knowing that like everybody is going through their own battles right now and their own struggles. So it was really good to hear that we're all working through our own things and that we're not alone. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it was nice talking to everybody too. And thank you for all the contacts we reached out. It was a huge help. This conversation was really good for me. Thank you again.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Nick. And I'm sorry, I did miss one question from Demetria Mack. Demetria Mack wanted to know, how can we help with jobs for college students who lost their jobs? Is there anyone on the call that can, or Demetria, if you're still on the call, we'd love to know if you're a youth or if you're a staff member. But if anyone can answer, that's fine. We will follow up with that. Any supports that we'll find about job searching or anything. I think that maybe the code can help with that. I'm sorry?
I'm still here.
Demetria, that's you?
Yes.
Okay, Demetria, can you just share a little bit about your background? Sorry.
I've been in foster care since I was 12. I currently go to Howard University and I'm a freshman.
Okay.
I work at Howard at my school through for work study, but I don't know, haven't gotten any word back on if we're gonna still be able to get paid even though we're not on campus to do our jobs.
Okay. So you're looking for job support and possibly emergency financial support, right?
Yes.
While are you back in New York now?
Yes, I'm here in New York.
Okay. So we will follow up with job supports. And then again, in the meantime, because it does, sometimes take some time to find a job. In the meantime, we have shared and will continue to share those emergency funds. Because I don't want you to be, behind on anything or going without. So feel free, Demetria, to reach out to me. I will put my email address on here for you all. Thank you so much. So any other youth have anything, any other feedback?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out, when do you guys plan to have another meeting?
Well, that's a great question. We didn't actually plan, but this seemed to be so helpful. So I think that maybe we need to consider a more frequent check-in. How do you all feel about that?
I mean, I think that's a great idea, definitely.
Okay.
I'm also putting my email in if anyone needs help or assistance during this time. Like I said, I'm an advocate, but I trust me, I have a lot of connections. So if anyone needs help with something specific, I will try to the best of my abilities to reach out to my sources to make sure that everyone is good to go.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I just want to plug, there's so much, COVID-19 has changed so much in terms of like in-person meetings and such things like that. But Fostering Youth Success Alliance actually does have quite a bit of advocacy opportunities throughout the year that we will be sharing with you all. Just other ways to stay connected, that we're looking to get creative since, we're doing everything over the computer. So yeah, just do keep us in mind, those of you maybe that aren't accessing the funding. First of all, please do reach out to your colleges because you deserve that funding, but also feel free to check out our website, FYSANY.org. Email us, just keep in contact with us. Follow us on Twitter. I believe our Twitter handle is @FYSA_NY, I believe. So there's so many opportunities that we love to connect our foster youth, both current and former. Again, I also do have a foster care background. I aged out of care, so I'm offering myself as a resource to those of you. I went away to college. I went to Spelman College, so those of you that even went away, even if you're not a CUNY, SUNY, New York private, you want someone to talk to you about that transition, I'm a resource for you all. So I do want to be conscientious of time. We're a little over. I want to thank you all so much, all the staff that are on the call, all of our youth that are on the call, our advocates, coalition members. Thank you so much. This has been invaluable. The chat has been booming and everyone's saying that this has been so great. We will deliberate a little further on maybe more frequent check-ins, but in the meantime, we will follow up with that resource list. We will follow up with that resource list and we'll be in contact soon. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Miss Griffin?
I'm sorry. My name is Jasmine Hooper, but I'm under another login. Yes.
I just I had a question about Spelman because I wanted to go to how were you able to afford to go to Spelman given because I wanted to go to Spelman but I didn't have enough aid even though I was in care, and it's I had to go to Howard. I didn't want to feel like I go to Howard, but I don't want to feel like I settled for Howard, but Spelman was my dream school. So I just wanted to know, how did you get to be able to go to get a lot funding to go?
Well, I did take out quite a bit of loans, Demetria, that sometimes I'm like, oh, should I have stayed in the state and saved money? But it was my dream school as well. So I did, kind of sacrifice that funding by going out of state. I just applied to scholarship. I applied for work study. So I just exhausted every single resource. But thankfully there is, I feel like, a lot more funding available now versus when I was in care and going to college. So, if you're looking maybe for more financial resources or support, reach out to me privately and we can try to work through that together, okay?
All right, thank you so much.
Welcome, Demetria.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. Okay. Thank you, Ayana. You've been very helpful. I appreciate the resources here.